If you include us.
Said 30. Is it close?
Yeah.
Including us.
Josh, Jeff, Chucky is coming, he's gonna be here in a little bit.
Okay. All right, 7 o'clock. Thank you all for coming. We'll officially call the meeting to order at 7 p.m. sharp. Start on the agenda so we can get through this in a timely manner. First thing up for bid is the approval of the annual membership meeting agenda, which is shown above there.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Second is Jason.
Jason.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And this agenda, we're kind of going reverse from our normal monthly meeting. Just a legacy thing, I'm not sure why, but that's what it is. So we'll start with Suzanne, the handling manager.
We had a pretty good year. We had a record year. We still have our 4 sites, Old Paper, Broadway, Waldo, some Fives. We hit the 1 million mark this year, so it was a good year. 1,060,000. So.
Thanks, Neil.
Well, I know.
Okay, good. Any questions for Suzanne? Good job, Suzanne. Thank you very much for all the hard work. The crew does an awesome job. Now we have to approve.
Last year's meeting.
Yeah, now it's, yeah, you got that, right?
Yep, I'll approve, or I'll make the motion to.
Second.
Yeah.
Lindsay and Jason again, all in
Yep.
favor?
I,
All right. There it is. We get some board member annual reports. First guy up is Chris Paul, the equipment director.
Last year we went through and really did a lot with our jerseys. Working on getting all to one brand, so sizing is consistent across all of our different jerseys, tryouts, practice, and game jerseys. So we got new game jerseys, some new practice jerseys for next year, and trial jerseys for next year. We're also getting new shells as part of a deal we got with our vendor for next year. And then I just want to kind of thank everybody because I took over as equipment manager during tryouts last year, equipment director, and it was kind of chaotic mess getting equipment out to everybody. And I just appreciate the patience everyone had as we got the equipment out maybe later than I wanted to. So thanks everybody.
Okay. Any questions for Chris? All right, moving on to the next position, hockey director Rick Chapor.
All right, so this year we had roughly 445 hours of training for 26 teams that we completed. So it's budget $140K around. I don't know how much we ended up spending, but somewhere around there. So there's plenty of wide variety of training on and off the ice for our athletes and our coaches as well. We're excited to go on to the next year here and hone in on our training partners and as we get through our lessons learned. But wanted to send a special thanks to actually a couple of training partners are in attendance. So Brandon from Hockey Lab here. Thank you. Cam from Pursuit. Thanks, Cam. The other partners we had was obviously Hartzell Hockey working with our goalies. Acceleration, working with our in-house program, PEP Hockey, Tradition Hockey, Cutting Edge Performance, and then lastly, I'd like to thank Kathy for working with me on getting schedules out. I know it's a daunting task, and I know schedules don't always come out at the right time, but scheduling 445 hours of training is pretty tough, along with games and everything else. So thanks, Kathy. From the survey results, so most of our results came in positive with, I would say, less than 10% from a certain program coming in negative. So overall, very good responses from our survey. We'll take those things into account as we go into next year and kind of some of the things and lessons learned that we had. Just want to mention also too, sometimes those negative responses were more on how many sessions we had with a specific trainer and not necessarily how the program went. So you have to kind of decipher the surveys as there as well. So not necessarily that the program was bad, but how many times to be effective was more of an issue. So just as I said, lessons learned, need to review the amount of training, the balance of time and the amount. Obviously the scheduling needs to be done more proactively to get those done correctly. And we're even thinking about having a training day just designated where it's all with our partners. And also teams that are coming off tournament weekends. Then also we're trying to look at our core, and we started talking about this at our last hockey opses, but just what's our core? And I think one area we identified is some more shooting training. So more to come on that. Lots of things in the works and lots to plan for the upcoming season.
All right, any questions for Rick? Some late attendees here. All right, thanks, Rick. I think, yeah, it was a lot of new things tried this year, and a lot of lessons learned for sure. Overall, went pretty well. Next up is in-house director.
Yes.
Chad.
First off, I'd like to say thank you to the coaches, parents, coordinators, Nick and Nikki Jacoby for all their efforts they put into the in-house program. So thank you to those two and everybody else. As far as numbers, we had 228 kids in our in-house program this year and 83 Cubs for a total of 311 kids. And the positive was, of those 311, 79 were girls. It's roughly 25%. So we're moving in the right direction there to help feed the pipeline for girls. If you look at the number of teams, we had 20 teams, 2 U8 teams, 2 A teams, 4 B teams, 4 C teams, 8 D teams, and then our 2 Cubs teams. So a lot of teams to schedule games for us. So thank you to Kathy for helping out there. This year we also had our second annual pond hockey deal. And for the most part, feedback's been pretty positive. We're looking to do that again next year with Spring Lake Park, maybe tweak some things up, but we'll get that on the books for next year. And then right now we're currently in the academy season. We have 87 kids signed up through 3 groups within the academy. So we're getting a lot of kids on the ice and moving in the right direction. So that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Any questions for Jed? All right, next up is Jason with the boys traveling.
First and foremost, thank you to the coordinators, Heather, Chris, TJ, Brian, and then also Kathy with scheduling. Can't do this without all of you. So definitely thanks to them, thanks to the coaches and the players, parents as well. So this year for boys, we had 229 registered boys throughout the traveling side. Squirts, we had 5 teams. So we had an A, B1, 2 B2s, and a C. Pee-wees, we had 6 teams, AA, A, B1, 2 B2s, and a C. And then Bantams, we had 4 teams this year, AA, B1, and 2 B2s. Very good, moving in the right direction. Just looking through this, kind of going through Bantam level. AAs were a 5th seed into regions, B1s, 2nd seed into regions, and they went to state as well. B2 for Bantams took 2nd place in District 10. B2 White took Constellation Championship in D10. Pee-wees AA, they went 5th seed into regions. A were D10 champions and went to regions. The Pee-wee B1s, D10 champs, and went to regions and state. The Pee-wee B2, B2 blue, white, and Cs all were number 2 seeds going into districts. Unfortunately lost in their 2nd game and didn't get a second loss option for that. Squirt level, our A team took Constellation for D10. Our B1 was the repeat champs for District 10. The, B2 blue was a number 2 seed, but lost their second game. B2 White was a number 4 seed and lost the consolation championship. And then the C Squirt was a number 3 seed, lost their semifinal game, but there's no third place game at C Squirt. So we're moving in the right direction. We've got a lot of things that are to be happy about with this season for the boys side. So, yeah, everybody's getting better. So it's good to see.
Sure. Any questions for Jason? Thank you, Jason. Next up is Neil with the girls.
All right, so we had 65 total girls in the traveling program. 54 were played for Blaine over the 212 teams and the 210 teams. 11 of them partnered with Champlain Park Coon Rapids, so thank you to them for taking our girls this year. That 15U level, we just had a weird number, and appreciate them helping out and really just, giving those girls an opportunity to succeed over there. So just a couple notes from the year. The 15A, the partnership with Coon Rapids Champlain finished second in D10 for district play. The 12As finished third in D10 for district play, and the 10As finished third in D10. 10Bs, 12Bs both had a very good year. Both very, very young teams. I know we had to wave up some girls from 8s to 10, and then a lot of our 12Bs were first years that played 10B the prior year. So both of them had very good years and developed, and you could see the development at the end of the year. So they're moving in the right direction. What numbers for next year look good, and like Jed said, numbers in the future look really good for girls. So we need to continue to recruit girls hockey players and keep them in the program. So really excited to see the future of girls hockey. Next year looks like we'll probably have the same 2 10 teams, 2 12 teams, and then 15. Looks like we have a good number, better number for next year if those 8th and 9th graders stay. So excited to see that moving forward as well. Finally, thank you to all the coaches. Special thank you to the non-parent coaches. So lucky enough to have a lot of them this year. Abby Oster coached 15U, so she actually went over there and coached with Champlain Coon Rapids. So big thank you to her to step up and take that role. Ellie and Sarah were 2 new coaches at the 12A level. Paige and Haley coached 12B. And Sam and Sloan coached the 10A team. So great to have all those female non-parents in the program and really see them develop, and look forward to them in the future of our program. So, and then thanks to Katie in the back there for the coordinator role, and congrats on the new baby. So, and then just finally, thanks to all the players, parents, coordinators, and fellow board members for everything. It was a great year, and glad to see the girls just wearing the Blaine logo, and look forward to the future. So, that's all I have.
All right. Any questions for Neil? Thank you, Neil. Yeah, it's nice to see the girls be on front for sure. All right, next up is Lindsay, secretary.
Yes, so we, first starting with volunteers, we had 173 unique parent volunteers, and 163 of them that actually got their volunteer credit, which is really good. It's I think it was, 10% or something like that from last year, but bottom line is people showed up and we didn't have to fill those roles. So thank you to all of our parents, and thank you, Christy, for taking on that role. Next, we had 117 kids go through concussion training. This is the most ever that we've had, and it covered 30% or 35% of all the kids in traveling, which is pretty good since only 12 and up have to, or are recommended to even have it done. Fundraising this year was up $5,000 more than last year at about $16,000, which resulted in a $4,500 credit for parents across the association. We added Mickmans this year, and that was super, super popular. People love that. We did a huge volume with them, so I'm excited about that. And so thank you to Cami Mertz, who, yay, is coming back to do it again next year. Then apparel, again, was a big success. We sold almost $55,000 in apparel, which resulted in a $7,500 credit back to BYHA. So thanks to all of the parents for their support on that, and to Jody Dulk and Nancy Burley, who will be stepping down, and to Allie Hassling, who will be stepping into that role. And then finally, our Blaine Academic Achievement. All but 51 of our traveling athletes qualified for that goodie bag and party. It was great. We had a great turnout. Parents came, kids came. We had a ton of fun. We took over Bolero. It was great. So thank you to the kids for their great grades and to Nancy Burley for putting all of that together for us. That's it.
So,
Any questions?
Yeah.
Next season?
Yeah.
For ice dogs, can you mark down who we should contact? We didn't do concussion training this year.
Yeah.
But we normally have done it every year. I think it's a great baseline.
Yeah,
So just,
I could just include you. I think we're gonna be,
just coordinate, 'cause I think at our times when our kids are available, it's different, but if we can keep that line open, I think
yeah,
COVID kind of threw everything.
yeah. I moved to doing 2 sessions. It worked out really well to do 2 sessions this year. So we could just make sure one of them happens later.
Okay.
The second one
Sounds good.
happens later.
Mark down, just,
Yep, all
I'd
right.
like to pick that up. It'll be the difference of somebody coming back and plus chatting with me.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
scholarships too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I did forget that. Yeah, so normally we just, we only usually give out, what, 5, 4 previously?
Yeah.
And we did 11 this year, so that was really great. We did 4 girls and 7 of the boys, so that was great. It was great to see the participation, really. So,
Yeah, that went well too.
it did.
A lot of applications and a lot of kids got a credit for that.
Yeah, and it was great to see what they had to say. So,
For sure. All right, well, thank you, Lindsay. Next up, we have the treasurer, Ron.
So I ran some numbers to compare last year to this year, which was completely uninstructive because one was a COVID year and the other one was not. But on the revenue side, we saw some serious increases overall, about $1.6 million of more revenue this year than last year. And a lot of that goes to Suzanne and her team. So thanks for that bump. Was significant. They more than doubled what they brought in last year, and the board was able to put that to work. So pretty proud of that. Saw the same thing in sponsorships and donations. They were all up by significant numbers, $13,000 more in sponsorships, $10,000 more in donations. A lot of those are COVID related increases, but it's a lot of hustle on all the fundraising team and all the work they put in. So thanks to all those folks. On the expense side, it was nice to see that come back. I think Lindsay mentioned that. So that increase in expense there. Tournament expenses were up. Thanks again to COVID last year, knocking them back down. So we just saw a lot of return to normal. But training was up. Rick mentioned it was $129,000, right? Training was up $50,000.
I got more money to spend?
That's what you spent so far.
Your money.
We're still paying bills. But that's $50,000 over where we were last year. So that's more training for more kids to get more skill in this program. And I'm pretty excited to be able to offer that. And then community support, and we were able to give away another $90,000 to the community and invest in the community. So again, thanks to Suzanne and her crew, thanks to the community for coming out and taking advantage of that. It's a pleasure to be able to do that for this community. And Chris mentioned it, we spent a lot of money on equipment this year, right? Chris likes to spend money, he's good at it. But we were able to buy jerseys, we were able to spend a lot of money on goalie gear, things that set us up for success down the line here. So good work by the board getting those things set up when we had the dollars in. So at the end of the year, we were about double where we were last year. We improved our overall rate set aside by about $750,000, and we've got about 1.6 in the bank right now, which includes our $1.5 million that we need for rink upgrades, and then we've got about $140,000 in working capital. So we're in a pretty good position.
Good. That's it? All right,
That's plenty, isn't it?
that's a lot.
Keep talking if you want.
Any questions for Ron? All right, I'll get another person in here. Thank you, Ron. Next up is Brad, the VP.
What a year. I mean, when you look at that, you look at the board member changeover that we had to switch going into our busiest season, which is tryouts, having, Ron come in and figure out financials. Chris is trying to straighten out the equipment room, which is a disaster compared to what it was now. Some big leaps and bounds of how they jumped in, got the job done under a lot of stress was, it was a big deal for us. And then to see the numbers and the growth in the association, right? I feel like Blaine, we're getting back on track. The Cub numbers, the Mike numbers are up. Great job, Jed. Girls numbers, what Neil had to deal with, the shit that we were dealing with last year. At this time, compared to where we are now, no, we could say that. It was not a fun deal that we had to go through, but our girls are wearing the Blaine logo and we are gonna be better for it. It was a growing year this year, but you see where the younger girls came, how far they came from the beginning to where they're positioned now, sets us up for success in the future. And then the boys teams, I mean, all 5 eligible teams making a region this year, shows you're getting back on track. So thank you to all the directors, board members, of course, Kathy, for jumping in and scheduling. It's probably the toughest job, and it's not perfect, but we're gonna get there, right? So thank you. Coordinators, coaches, volunteers, and the membership. Year 2 of COVID, dealing with the COVID stuff too, and it's real, it's still there, but I think we've made it through the worst. I hope we don't have to talk about it next year, but what our membership has done, been positive about it. Never had one complaint about it for 2 years about us doing the wrong thing or making the wrong decision. So that means we have our stuff together and put the right policies in place to have not only our membership safe, but the kids safe on the ice. So glad we made it through that. And now the heavy lifting starts for us board members, right? Now we do all the planning. We have all the summer stuff coming back. Summerfest will be Blaine Parade, which our kids take part in. And then tryouts. Ice is scheduled, but then it's getting prepped for tryouts, getting our evaluators in place, making sure our processes are correct. I think we hit it pretty good this year, but there's always room for improvement, so we'll be taking a hard look at that. And then the big things that we learned is just training. Let's realign our training schedule, like Rick had mentioned, try to get it down to 1 day, keep working on scheduling, building our relationships with our high school program, which Chris, thank you for showing up. So I think we're really making progress in the right direction, but we got to put our foot on the gas, especially, you drive around Blaine right now and the amount of new housing starts is an opportunity for us to recruit and keep this program growing, right? So looking forward to that. And then, just looking forward to our new coaching mentoring program, which will help our coaches at all levels. And then just getting more out of our membership. The volunteers were great this year. How do we get more people involved? How do we get more coordinators involved? That's basically, if we all do our part, this thing's going to keep going in that right direction. So I just want to thank everyone for their effort. That's it.
Thank you, Brad. You stole some of my thunder. Sorry, Brad. Any questions for Brad? All right, next up is myself. Yeah, it's been a heck of a year. I think we've made a lot of progress. We've seen a lot of improvements. The board's been busy. There's been a lot of things to do this year between girls co-op splitting up and COVID, like Brad said, and just all kinds of things. We had equipment renewal. A lot of work was done by the board. And it was great to see. Great to see people engaged and getting it done. The coordinators, we had 41 roles filled by different coordinators, so big thanks to them guys. They help us make it all happen. Coaches, we had 80 coaches this year. I mean, really, when you think about it, they're the face of our organization. So helping those guys get it done right and getting better all the time is a key priority for us too. So thanks to them for doing that. 11 student coaches were helping us this year. So hopefully we're building the future of our coaching pool. Managers did an awesome job this year. Thanks to all them. They got super high survey marks. It's the highest I've ever seen in my time with the board. So managers are stepping up, doing an awesome job. Training partners, we have a few of them here. Rick touched on them. They all did a great job for us. No complaints from anybody I've heard of, other than, like you said, maybe there was a little too much this year. So schedules got hectic for some families, and that's an easy one to fix, right? And then families stepped up and engaged better than ever. And again, my time on the board, so culture's going in the right way. The kids are having fun playing hockey, so overall it's all heading in the right direction. So thanks to them too. Surveys, had a chance to take a look at them. They've been seeing the participation increase, so I emphasized to everybody I talked to try to take the time to fill it out. I mean, there's no risk in doing it. We just need people to tell us the God honest truth, not be afraid of it, and give us some things to target, right? So please spread the word. And last season, or just a month ago, we collected 352 surveys, which was I think it's a second place. Yes, I think last year we had just a couple more, but that's great results. And about roughly 450 to 500 families out there, so that's not bad. Used to hear more about politics with the board. I think that's getting snuffed out over time as people become more aware, more engaged. They see what's happening behind the scenes. There's nothing shady going on at all. Never has been, but sometimes that's a tough sell. So I challenge anybody who's feeling that way to speak up and get involved. You'll see for yourself.
Did you guys lose that black book we left 2 years ago?
Yeah, no. Well, I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Oh, you guys lost it.
I think Chester took it with him. But no, that's also heading in the right direction. So I'm thankful for that and hope to see that improving further. The finances have been real strong in the past few years. Gambling's been kicking in, helping us out a lot. Spending's been smart, not wasteful, and we're packing some away for the future. So the whole program is in a really good spot. Got plenty of ice allocated. We got plenty of money to help with the ice improvements, the ice rink improvements to assure we got plenty of hours for the future years of this program. What else? Tryouts. The tryouts have changed quite a bit over the last 4 years, all for the better. We're getting, good independent evaluators in there. We're, getting the kids out on the ice in the right format, just to see them compete with people or with kids their own skill sets. So that's heading in the right direction. Like I already mentioned, there's always room for improvement on anything, right? But it's showing better results. Even Bengal Pride, right? I mean, it seemed to falter, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6, but we're seeing that pride come back in these young players. I think they're wearing the B with a little more, a little more feel good and seeing more stickers on the back of cars. I mean, we gave them away for free this year, so that's naturally going to we want to see more, right? We want to see a sticker on the back of every car we can out there. So we are giving them away. We are trying to increase that awareness, visibility, and if anybody wants one, just ask. We'll give you 10 of them, right? Still a priority though, right? We want coaches teaching that stuff. I think Luke here is with us. He does a great job of it. He's one of the best that I've seen. He bleeds blue and he knows how to explain it to the young guys and gals. And I think we should help with that all we can, right? Do as much of that as we can. And then, and then just looking forward, I got 2 years left in my term. I'm hoping to do some more good here. If I'm stirring anything up, please let me know. I'll try to fix it right as soon as I can. And that's about it. I think that's all I have. Thanks again to the board. I think we've got a great group here. All right, next item. Any questions for me? All right, good. Now, election results. So we got the tally. There it is. Sort it. Jed. Most popular guy around, huh? Jed's in, Jason's in, and Neil's in. So welcome back, all 3 incumbents. We thank Jesse Schwartz and Patrick Arneson for throwing their name in the hat. We need all the help we can get. Hopefully we can get them help with some coordinating work or whatever it might be. Just because you're not on the board doesn't mean you can't make the same impacts, right? So get those guys on the hook for helping us out.
Are the total votes up year over year? Do you know that?
I didn't look at that, but I do believe this is a record year too. And keep in mind, there was a number of rejections due to open balances that weren't paid and owed, and boundary problems and non-parent things too. So, and we are looking at, I think Luke and Katie brought it up that we should look at maybe changing the bylaws to allow alumni to vote. We all agree. I think we talked about it before.
Actually, I think that's been there for a long time, from what
Yeah,
I remember.
yeah, and the bylaws are old. I mean, they're from the 90s, I think, and it was clear that the intent was to lock it down to the parents. It was clear as a bell in the bylaws. So we haven't deviated from that. We respected that. Now it's time to maybe challenge it a little bit. We're floating around some ideas, but I think we're going to try to get the alumni in on that voting as well too. Their opinion counts too. So yeah, okay. So we have our newly elected members. Next up, we have open forum. So we'll start with the high school program. We got Chris Carroll here. You want to say a few words, Chris?
Yeah, you bet. You want me to come there or just stay here?
However you want. However.
Do we have to come to the mic so people on the phone can hear?
These pick up the sound pretty good. So you have to be safe. You can. Yeah, absolutely.
So come up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, you just stand here and it picks it up.
Then you can be on camera too.
Well, that's what I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Right in front of me.
Right in front.
Yeah, no, in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm addressing you guys and this year and then whoever else is on the camera, which is
Yeah.
great. Well, thanks guys. I always come here and I always just want to thank the board and the youth program, which is obviously so rightly deserved. But, just kind of sit here for the last, 30, 35 minutes and kind of hear just all of the stuff that was shared tonight, I think was not only something to be thankful for, but just super encouraged by and really, really grateful for. And, I know it was election and then that happened tonight too. And I think from my perspective, and this isn't a knock on any other years or anything, but just kind of some of the consistency. You guys, I heard it in your voices. Some of you guys said it more candidly, just kind of, trying to move in the right direction. I think the consistency here on the board and seeing a lot of similar faces with the same, kind of objectives and emotion and all that is super, super encouraging. And I know I kind of tangentially said that right now, but I want to thank you, but it was just super encouraging to sit out there and to hear that, especially, I get a chance to maybe selfishly sort of reap the benefit of a lot of what the youth program does. And to be honest with you, you guys do all the work, and there's a lot of people that are probably at home or aren't here that are really doing a lot of the heavy lifting, so to speak, and is what I heard here tonight. And I get a chance to work with the kids, once they've matured somewhat at times. More so than maybe like Luke or some of those guys, but those seeds have been sown long before I get them. And so in all that, I'm just, super, super excited for it to hear. It's incredibly encouraging. So thank you. And to sit out there, it means a lot. And it's something as a high school coach, the end of the season comes and, our season didn't end the way we wanted to. And it's just like this fatigue that, we experience as coaches, and I'm sure you guys do as board members and parents. And the season comes to an end and you're kind of like, oh, you need to take this deep breath. But I feel like there's just this like circadian rhythm of this meeting, and maybe not so much the weather, but all of this stuff that, tonight is kind of a night that, I was driving here, I was thinking about STP, like our summer program. Like, I can't wait to get on the ice with these kids, and try to get more and more kids, out on the ice with us that we get a chance to know and see and, kind of share our language with and sort of build that culture that you guys are talking about, and thinking about STP and that summer stuff. And, I heard the other, he's like, oh yeah, we got Bengal Fest. Like, oh man, that's right. Like, Bugy's got to come back for that. And you kind of like, I know the Brodzinskis are going to be there, and it's just another excitement that I get. And, it's kind of like this fatigue that I experienced, I don't know, maybe 6-7 weeks ago of like, oh my gosh, to like how excited I am right now. And it's almost, thinking about you guys get your trout, I said, I'm like, I don't see it in the schedule. like, when is that gonna start? When are these warm-up bikes start? So, I say all that in just sort of a summary that, you know, I want to thank the board with the youth program and all the individuals that really pour into what I get a chance to do and our staff get a chance to do, and really sort of glean that fruit that so many people really, like I said, sowed those seeds for. So I know I speak for my staff, and I know they're not here, but we're incredibly encouraged. And I know it's a credit to a lot of the work that the board does, and certainly getting that Bengal pride back and establishing that culture is awesome. So I want to thank the board, ultimately, as you guys sort of spearhead this and generate a lot of momentum. But then there's, you know, obviously the people here and so many of the folks at home and maybe even some of the folks that, you know, coaches and parents that aren't even having a chance to kind of tap into online, whether they're at lacrosse or baseball, or, you know, running their kids out wherever, but hopefully that message for myself gets to them. So, yeah, really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. We have the girls booster coming to speak for the girls side, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you for coming.
absolutely. Thank you for the invite. I'm Sarah Brady. This is Sandy Hanson. We're representing the Girls Booster Program. First off, let us say thank you for letting us attend your meeting, just give you a quick update on our program and then also for your contribution for the year. It really did help set our girls up with the opportunity to do some of these extra things within the community. Our JV team had one of the strongest seasons in years. 14 wins, 8 losses, 3 ties. Our varsity team had a lot of close games, ended up losing in sections to the eventual state champions. And then from a team perspective, we were really happy that we had 3 all-conference, 2 honorable mention all-conference, and 1 all-state, all-metro performer. And then also the majority of our team did qualify and achieve the Spotlight on Scholarship Awards. So I think we had 2 individuals across both teams who did not qualify, receive that award. So that speaks volumes for the academic portion of our program. For Youth Night, we had great attendance from the youth in the community again this year. There was a pitcher contest and the winner received like ice time with the girls. We were able to just complete that on Saturday. So the U10s, one of the U10 teams did win that. They spent some time on the ice with the girls on Saturday, and then we provided a pizza party for them. For the winning team, we're looking to expand it even more next year and start engaging and coordinating early with the board from a scheduling perspective. So as soon as our schedule is set, we can identify when we would like to have our youth night, so that can possibly be blocked out on the girls' side for some of those younger teams to help drive some of that engagement from an ice scheduling perspective. We were able to get a lot of our girls to attend 3 to 4 of the games on the youth side this year, and spend time in locker room with the girls after the games, just to kind of talk through things and build some of that engagement. We attended a couple of practices for the U10s, and then also participated at the tryouts and the pre-skates. And then we're happy that we had the availability or the capability to have blue line buddies at the majority of our home games this year, so that the girls could come out for lineups, you know, get the announcements, skate on the ice with the girls. Next year, we are looking at having the girls attend a game from each of the levels in the youth program. We'd like them to come, engage, support the girls during one of their games, and then would also like to try to attend 1 practice as possible, if possible. So I think that's something next year when you have your coaching staffs lined up, to make sure that they're reaching out so that we can help try to align some of those schedules, even from a practice perspective, just to help bring up the excitement and the engagement from the lower levels. And then also looking at doing a skate with the Bengals around Christmas time, so that the girls have the opportunity to come out and, you know, have the BYHA excitement.
Yeah, sounds good. A lot of work.
I just want to say today's my first annual meeting, and I am so impressed. I thank you for all you do for Blaine hockey, and it is exciting way to be. We are a little pride in our house, and I have to admit, one of my favorite things is when they do the blue light muddies. I remember when Haley was little, we still have the picture on the wall, and it's, I don't know, I get kind of emotional with that. She's gonna be a senior now, and I just am just grateful for like the love and the support from everyone here in the community, and coaches, parents, the coordinators. I mean, you guys spend a lot of time and away from your families and all the sacrifices you made, so we really appreciate it, so thank you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next up on the agenda, we have Chuck Taylor from the Junior Gold Program. Hello, Chuck. Bring your coaches up with it?
If I could get them out of their chair. All right, I'm Chuck Taylor, run the Ice Dogs program. We're going into year 12. So for those of you out there, and you guys that don't know what that is, Junior Gold is the high school level for players that either haven't made high school, or maybe the high school coaches are using us to prep players to come back in, or just simply kids that just want to get out and play hockey. We've had over 50 players this year. It was a little bit of a return to normal, thank goodness, which I think you guys will agree with me on. It was nice to see the numbers. We had 3 teams, and one of them, the 16s, made it all the way up into state again. Tom, do you want to take just a second and speak? Yes, I do.
Well, you know, the only thing, thank you guys for the support. I mean, it's honestly, thank you so much for the support. Okay, go ahead.
Those that couldn't see, Tom gave a thank you to everybody. He's a man of few words, but big actions. But anyhow, the 16s had a really good season this year. Very, very good season. Played through, won their first game, lost the second game. The team that beat us was very worthy of that. And then third game, it was a quarter flip. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. So we pulled consolation out of state. The players are really revved up. They're very revved up. We got a feeling a couple of them are going to make the high school team next year, and but we think we have a good batch coming in behind us. So we're expecting success again into the next season. The banquet, year-end banquet, was well attended, and they had a ball. We sent off, I believe, do you remember the number? About 13 seniors. Remember, Nancy? Sounds about right. So 13 seniors graduated off into wherever they're going in the world. So we're very proud. We're very happy. We've had a great year. For some of you parents who'll be seeing Junior Gold, and you really got to catch a couple of games, a lot of people have a big misconception of what it is. It's great hockey. It's not good, and it's not fight league. I think I've covered a few bases, even for some of you guys on the board. See your kids in Junior Gold, so make sure we keep this a good program, guys. So thank you, and let's look forward to the next season.
Coach of the year.
He doesn't want to stand up and talk.
He doesn't have to. He was coach of the year.
What's that?
He was coach of the year.
Oh my gosh, that part I forgot. Oh, Tom, stand up. No, this just happened. I think it was the beer and wine that actually got in the way. In Junior Gold, the organization, the league, there's an award for, it's pretty prestigious. And it's the West Bear Award. And Tom actually was nominated. It was for last season during COVID, and was presented that at the Junior Gold banquet just the other night. So that's for somebody that really has meant something to the program, to the Junior Gold High School League, which used to be the Metro Hockey League. Give a little recognition again. Beach.
we're most comfortable.
Yeah. Any questions for Junior Gold Program while I'm here? Try to communicate with you guys. It's been working great, so hopefully it'll be smooth. We've got summer ice, pond hockey coming up this summer, and then we get a little bit of a break to breathe and right back into it again. And we're kind of right with you, Chris. Season gets here, gets done, like, okay, need a break, but now we're ready to roll again. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for the support, and let's have another great season.
Tom, we gotta get you to teach some of the other young coaches how to do what you're doing, right?
We're a little bit different because I'm getting on ours like a big team.
Yeah.
We're lucky with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's working. Teach some others how to do it. All right. Next up on the agenda, we have some other coordinators and coaches, training partners. Maybe you want to say a word? Don't have to, but you can.
Honestly, thank you. You guys were a great group when you came in. The kids came in, worked hard every time they came in, had good energy. To be honest, we were hesitant to do, we were talking to Brad, originally we didn't want to do association partnerships. We knew that we had 5 kids that really wanted to be there, work hard, 5 kids that didn't want to come in at all, and 5 kids that carried away and honestly, working with you guys last year with a bunch of free sessions, changed our conception completely what we wanted, because we saw that with a good structure, we worked with the kids, it didn't matter if we had a PBC group that came in, or a PBAA group, we were able to get the kids to work hard, stay focused, and enjoy their training, and that's a testament to what you guys are doing, so we appreciate that you guys had changed, and also our view on doing association partnerships, because it's going to be a big part of what we do Hockey Lab now, moving forward long term. So thank you, you guys, thanks to your athletes for coming in and having an attitude from top. So just thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks, Brandon.
Cam, you're.
Yeah.
Thank you for your help.
So this is we've done 2 years with you guys, and, I've worked with Rick, worked with Neil, and it's always been, everybody's kind of had the same vision of just getting people or getting the kids in to do strength training, and also let's be ability the off-ice training. I'm not sure what the hockey work does. I know they do a lot of specific stuff, but, kind of encompassing, not just having them do, hockey all the time, and getting them to do something different is huge, and that's kind of what we stress on is having them do different movements, learning strength programs, get them ready for the season is going to, avoid a lot of injuries and also get them pumped up for the season. So previous 2 years, we've always tried to get more of our training sessions done in the fall, and, obviously because of COVID, it's really worked out, but, looking forward to the future, I think the kids love it. A lot of the kids come in, they get their own program, and they learn, how to move on the weight room, how to move weights efficiently, and how to train for a preseason program. Even at that age, it's like the older, obviously, family kids are getting ready for the preseason program, and that gets them ready, mentally and physically. And so I just, came with you guys the past couple years, appreciate you guys scheduling that and working that out, bringing the kids on, and giving us an opportunity to show them what it's like to run through a whole preseason program. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know even though some of your programs overlap a little bit, it's great to have options, right? It seems like some kids are drawn to other things differently, right? So even kids within the same level, some like pursuit better than Hockey Lab and vice versa, right? So start to channel those to the appropriate demographics. I think will drive better results. All right, thank you guys. We got Chris Forey here. How you doing, Chris?
Here he is.
He's the champion of the newsletter, so thanks for doing that.
And sport coordinator.
Sport coordinator, yes, yeah. He's one of our volunteers that gives more than goes above and beyond, I'll say.
And Greg.
Yep, Greg. Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Recruitment and retention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beaches.
So, yeah, so you guys, thank you for coming. We won't force you to say anything unless you want to. Brings us to the other open forum. Anybody else got anything you want to bring up? Katie, the new mama. Our girls coordinator
Yeah,
and 9-day-old mom.
9 days postpartum.
Yeah, right.
Uh-huh.
Congrats.
I do want to give just a very brief girls coordinator update as well. I know it's kind of hard to like even be involved. I was pregnant the entire season, including tryouts. So thank you for whoever ordered dinner every night. That didn't make me throw up. Really appreciated that. But one thing that I think is extremely important when it comes to our girls program, we've got great numbers at the Cubs level, at U8s, is representation. So I wanted to say thank you to Brandon because we've had direct conversations about hiring female staff for when girls come in. I know that Pursuit does the same. Had conversations with Marty Sertich about tradition, and he's recently hired females to his staff because of conversations we've had. I last season went out to the U8 practice for Brad's daughter Mac, and there were 8 dads on the ice running practice with 40 girls, which is awesome that we've got dads involved. And I know we don't have a lot of moms yet at that age level that have been heavily involved in hockey. You're kind of seeing my age and younger, you're just a little bit older get there. So what I want to do, and kind of piggybacking off the girls high school program, is I'd love to see a buddy program where there's girls from JV and varsity who are partnered with a Cubs team or a U8 team. So we have female representation. And it's not just, hey, I'm going to show up when I feel like it. You're dedicated to being there. So the girls know who you are, and they come to a high school game and they say, that's our girl. And they get so excited to go to a JV game, not just a varsity game or be a blue line buddy, but to support everyone. And I went to the parents meeting at the beginning of the season, and I had a bunch of girls come up to me and say, how do I get involved? And I think what's great about that is when you have people who stick around and there's longevity, you have a familiar face on the board, or someone that a 15-year-old can come up to and feel comfortable asking that question to, and know who to reach out to. So at that meeting, I had 4 girls from the JV program say, I want to be involved. And I take pride in the fact that Luke and I run STP in the summer, and we grew the program from 20 kids to, we had 35 this summer, which was awesome. And we knew every single kid's name when they stepped on the ice before they got there. We didn't do tape on the helmet, anything. And when we talk about building a culture, that's what it is. And we need more of that on the girls' side, and we need more females involved to be able to do that. So thank you to the board, because on the girls' side, a lot of the work took place in June and July and August, when you should have been at the cabin or at the lake. And like Neil said and Brad said, it was a lot of work and it was a rebuilding year, but we are going to be better for it. And my favorite part of the season is when I told every kid that you're a Bengal now. You're not this wild cat or this tiger cat hybrid thing for SLP and Blaine. And we did a Bengals on 3, 1, 2, 3 Bengals. So that I'm so proud of, and I can't wait to see where this program goes because of it. And then I'll just segue into open forum if there's no other coordinator reports. We talked briefly about eligibility for voting members. So as it stands right now, you have to be a parent or guardian of a current or former Blaine Youth Hockey Association player to be eligible to vote. And while I love the idea of alumni representation, even though it looks like I bleed Bengal blue from literally my toes to the top of my head, I'm a Park Center grad. So that would still mean I would be ineligible to vote. I'm technically a non-voting member on the board, if you call it that, by being a girls coordinator. So it's really important to me that the people I work with and my boss as a girls traveling director, I have a little bit of say in that process. Luke has coached in the association for 7 years. He helps run captain's practice for the high school. He helps run STP. I've been a girls coordinator twice. I've coached for 3 years. And just to look at the numbers that Neil stated, we have 7 non-parent female coaches in our youth program. I think a really easy way to make them feel valued is to give them a vote. It's free. It's a really easy way to keep them involved, make them feel like they have a stake in the game. And when we register with USA Hockey, we have to say, which association are you a member of? And right now, as the bylaw state, Luke and I are technically not members of this association because we do not have a child in it. And while we have a 9-day-old son, I don't want to have to wait 4 years for him to be a part of the Cubs program to technically be called a member of this association. I know we are. We're family more than we are members, but if we're gonna be litigious about it and the way it's worded, it would make us feel very valued if we did get to be voting members of this association. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think we can get the little one registered in the academy.
And we'll work on golf program numbers too.
Yeah, right.
Knock that down in 2 years.
Yeah, right. Okay, anything else with the open forum? Going once, going twice. All right, we're at adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Second, Lindsay, Rick, all in favor? Aye. All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you guys for coming, appreciate it.
You said it at the same time.
I'll roll this ready.
Nope.
Don't stand up.
Thanks, guys, for coming. Thanks, Cam. Thanks, Brandon, for coming.
All right.
I'm super glad that I'm gonna be that handsome on the right.
Yeah, right.
Great.
All right.
How are you?